I would like to introduce you Karel Boháček, who will tell us something about sign language recognition. You are a machine learning expert, data scientist, something like that, yeah? So please give a warm welcome to Karel. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I guess I will start with something like Gilderoy Lockhart from Harry Potter. Can everyone hear me? And can everyone see me? I cannot do the smile that he did. So thank you for having me. Thank you for the nice introduction. Today we will talk about enabling communication for the hearing impaired through machine learning, which is quite a mouthful. I usually keep it there as a bait for those who introduce me, the stage managers, but they did not take the bait, so I have to punish myself by reading that. I'm from Alma Career Central, which might not you might not be familiar with that. We were, until end of last year, we were called LMC, and now there is rebranding and merging and everything, but people from Slovakia know Profesia for a job board where you can go and find your next job. In Czech Republic, we own websites like Jobs and Práce. So that's who we are, and I will tell you how we even got to this topic. Let's just get to it. So first question, of course, why? Why we want to do sign language recognition? So imagine that from our point of view of trying to help people find their next job where they will be happy and successful. Imagine that there is a hearing impaired person, someone who doesn't hear, cannot talk, they use sign language. So the way that they do their job interviews now is either through text communication or they have to have a translator. We collaborate with a non-profit organization that provides translators to the candidates free of charge. But it's complicated. So either you have one more person there and you are talking, I mean, you as if you are a hearing impaired person, you talk to this manager who doesn't understand you, a translator translate for you, the personal feeling gets lost. It's even more so if you are just discussing via messages. Let's say that you connect with each other on Teams or Zoom or somewhere, and you have to write your messages. The manager or someone who is doing the interview with you just reads the messages. They reply to you, of course, again in text because you cannot, you would not hear them. You can basically imagine that, like you are having an interview or any call, basically in general, and your computer just doesn't have microphone or speakers. What would you do, right? That's difficult. So if we have a working sign language recognition system, the natural communication would be available. Like if you imagine like having at least subtitles. I know that the person on the other side would still have to read something, but better than all the other current options. And there is no waiting for the written answer and so on. Let's talk now about what's possible, what's ideally possible, not necessarily what I did as a part of this prototype. And when I say prototype, it's because it was part of our research prototyping phase where we were trying to find new ways how to help people, what new products we could make. So this was a prototype that I worked on. And so first step is always the real-time transcription, something you have a stream from webcam, and you need that the computer understands what the signs that the person who does the sign language, what they are, and somehow transfer that to text, whatever that means. What it means actually is that you will not get, in case of Czech sign language, you will not get Czech language, of course, because the signs are something else. It's basically different language. It uses words that you know, as a Czech-speaking person, for example. By the way, I will talk about Czech Sign Language. You know, there are basically there is Czech language and Czech Sign Language. There will be American English. There is American Sign Language. It's like that. There is no universal sign language that hearing impaired people can talk to each other across the globe. So here are just few examples what it means that the language is not the same. Like the sentence in Czech that I have here, chceš vodu, čaj nebo kávu, which would translate as, would you like water, tea or coffee? In Czech sign language, is just chtít, voda, čaj, káva, chtít. That's a way that you ask a question. So like words to words translation you can see is want, water, tea, coffee, want. Or if you just announce Mom will go to Slovakia in May, it will be as May, like the month of May. Mom, go Slovakia. That's how it is. So if you will only get the transcription that I spoke about in the first step, then the person on the other side might still not understand what's happening. So you would have to implement some expanding of the text. Luckily, now, last year or two, we are in time of great AI boom of general transformers that are very good at this. At the time when I was doing this prototype, it was not available, and it's like a possible next step of what can be done. And of course, the last part would be text-to-speech or speech-to-text. You know, you don't need subtitles if you have text-to-speech, which we have readily available. And the other way, speech-to-text is also getting quite common these days, even though sometimes it doesn't work. And if you used transcription in Microsoft Teams, then I'm sorry, but that's not a real product. So today I'm going to talk about the first step. Prototyping phase was not very long, and of course I did as much as I could. And today will be like about showing you what's possible, because everyone can do this. I don't speak sign language, and I did some working prototype, so it's possible to use it as a topic for a student thesis or a project, and it can be made into a real product. We don't have any rights or patents about this, so everyone can do this. So let's talk how to get from the signs of the sign language to having a text. So of course, first thing is that you need to have a part of that system that will convert that you know what it sees on the camera, which I assume that everyone at PyCon knows Python. So in Python you can use OpenCV library. That's probably the most common to get the feed from your webcam and process it further. And then you need to just figure out how to tell the computer, like there are hands and people signing something in the video stream. To get there, you also need to, of course, obtain some large set of images. You need to have a data set. So you will either make them yourselves, which is what I did, or you will download them somewhere from the internet so you could do the training and everything. But before you get to machine learning model training, you of course need to do some conversion, because you know it's still the image. Your code cannot just take the pixels, you know, and the values in that of red, green, and blue. So preferably to convert them into coordinates already of what you know, like hands and body parts that are in the screen. And well, profit probably not, right? We don't want to profit on that. It's like a moral gray area, and this was always intended to be like open source or at least for free. And for the recognition on what you have in your webcam feed, there is actually a useful library called Mediapipe. It's now owned by Google, but let's not hold it against them. It's open source and it works quite nicely. I checked recently that they are still working on it. It has a lot of features. It supports what I did as part of this prototype now. They have about half of signs that I did, but okay, they did well. good job. And it allows like hand detection, body detection. You can use it for eye tracking in your projects and so many things. But we will talk now about hand detection. You might think like hand, it's simple, right? It must know that it has distinct shape. It must be easy to detect what it is, but most of us have two of them, and it's just something that we don't think about, but it actually has 21 degrees of freedom. Feel free to count them when you look at your own hands, but otherwise just take my word for it from this drawing that I have there. And those are the points that you need to detect in your video. And as a proof that it works, I actually included, well, okay, now you actually need to see my face twice, so I'm sorry about that. But here you can see like a layer that shows how it can be tracked in using Mediapipe. And so this way we can implement successfully hand detection in each individual video frame. And I did not get to this part that what you need to do, like you can make a great, robust system, but it still needs to process the live video in real time. It cannot be so slow that the frames will start lagging or anything. It needs to work even on normal laptop or, well, okay, probably the phones these days are more powerful than some laptops. So let's say on an old laptop like this one that I'm presenting from. So we are tracking hands. Can we do more? Yes, there is also part called Mediapipe Holistic, where you can include like hands and face. If I was in this video, like all my body, you would see that I think there are not just shoulders, but also like hips, knees, and feet. But this gives you an idea. This is what you would need for sign language recognition, because it's not just hands, right? Even if you've just seen once a person who speaks sign language, it depends where the hands are compared to like with respect to the head, the face, the rest of the body. Sometimes there are signs that are signed about in this area or higher, and so on. But of course, baby steps. So I had to start with hands because there are some challenges, you know. Luckily, the Mediapipe library takes care of a lot. Because at some point, you need to know that it detects the hands correctly, like the type of hand, left and right. This might be confusing because it looks like it says right for my left hand, but it's actually like me in the mirror. I was just screen grabbing. It was very, very convenient for me. So it was like me standing like this in front of my camera. So it's really my right hand. And as you can see, when there is my beautiful assistant, my wife's hand appear in the video, that it does not get confused which hand is which. You have to really try to confuse it. Like if you had direct backlight behind you, so you just see not shadow, but the silhouette of your hand, then you can probably confuse it because it doesn't see the front. But other than that, it works perfectly. So we can work with that. So what we are going to do is that we will save coordinates of both hands into an array. And just to keep things organized, left hand is always first in the array, then the right. If it's not there, then you put some not a number values or zeros or whatever you prefer. And then each image that you have for the dataset with the signs, you can convert to numbers, right? The arrays of numbers. And then, hooray, you can go and do your machine learning model. So now, what was in my dataset? I mentioned already that I'm not a person who speaks sign language. So I had to come up with something to start. So I did what any person would do in my case, and that's I made my own signs, right? So there is like what you would come up with, like hello, thumbs up, thumbs down, even some rude ones that I had to delete later. And another part of the data set is check sign language alphabet. It's if you went to camps or you were part of Boy Scouts or something, then you probably know, like A and D, you know this. But sometimes it's a little bit different than what I was taught as a kid at a camp. But what I included is the official Czech sign language, like when some hearing impaired Czech person needs to spell something out, then this is what's used. I made 200 images for each sign. And because it was me solely working on this prototype, it's all my hands, so it's a little bit biased, of course. It works the best for my hands. It might not work well for your hands if you try. And you will be able to try after the presentation. I will be somewhere in the common area, probably here at our Alma Career stand, and you can come and you are welcome to try. Well, each of the images, I told you that it's converted. So we have array for both hands, 84 values. Why? Because I said 21 degrees of freedom for one hand. We want to detect two hands, and there are X and Y coordinates in the video stream. A little bit of data science. I will not bother you with details. We tried classifiers, not something fancy. You know, I told you that we need that it works in the live stream. So just we tried few of the common classifiers that come to mind when you are doing something like this. All of them basically reached high accuracy because, of course, it's just my hands. You know, I did not mix from more people. It would get more complicated, and it should get more complicated. This is the proper way to do it. But you know, lack of time, prototyping, and so on. I decided for decision tree. Why? Because decision tree is easy to fine-tune when you need it. I will show you exactly what I mean, but because it's basically like splits what to do with values, and it has some levels, these decision trees. When something is not working right, you can just go there, see how the split works, and adjust it a little bit, so then it will work up to your liking. We did normal train test split, 70% and 30%. And as you can see, accuracy was satisfying in this case. What you see in the matrix is actually how you can see on the vertical axis is the true label of an image. On the horizontal axis is how the model predicted that. The ideal case is, of course, everything from this testing data set is on the diagonal. You can see sometimes some non-zero values, and it actually makes sense. If you like go through that and check them, for example, hello was often confused for stop, which I have there, because somehow it needs to decide at some point what will be hello and what's stop, so it makes sense that this is the most common mistake. I also included some sign that I call live long, you know, so that's also very similar to those two. And then the issues started, of course. Because as you find out, when you are not doing just alphabet, most signs in the sign language, I guess not just Czech sign language, but all sign languages, they are what I call dynamic. It's some movement. I remember like my name, Karel, is the same sign as king, and it's just, you are basically showing a crown. And it includes the movement, like this means nothing, you need to have the movement. So what should be done for this is that you will find a way how to detect those. That's the first step. And it's not difficult, right? You just would have some sequence, you know, of images or something like that. But then how to know where one sign ends and another one begins? That's the real issue, because the people who know sign language, they speak fluently, like when I'm speaking now, or at least I try. Someone who doesn't understand English wouldn't know where one word ends and the other one begins. So this is basically what the computer has to deal with, and we need to teach that, but it's not that easy. And the other thing is that we need more than hand detection. I said that from the beginning, you need to do post detection. And I said that this is like a, let's say this is 40% motivational speak. 20% of what was done and another 40% of like, see, there are these things that already work quite easily. Even I could do that, so you can as well. And there is a long way to go, but it might be worth it. And at this point, I thank you for your attention, but there will not be questions yet, because I like to challenge myself for something difficult that, you know how it is when you are coding and someone is looking over your shoulder and like you forget the layout of your keyboard and stuff. So, or when you try to run something and it doesn't run. I'm brave enough to make it in front of 50 people or so. So I will just need to find my cursor, which is with this delay not quite easy. And whoop. Don't look at my code, it's mine. I will just, whoa, the delay is really, really bad. Sorry about that. Let's see if this will work. It will take some time, so I will talk more. I'm sure you will love it. It's just importing some libraries and the models at the beginning. And it should, yeah, I'm like 90% sure it will not work. Okay, well, so this will be weird because I actually should have the screen mirrored, but if I do like this, yeah, it will be confused because I have very unfortunate background behind me, but you get the idea. Here I left the overlay that shows you like that it detects that it's my hand. You can see that the light is really messing it up, but you can make like this is for the sign language, the alphabet. So just to show, some of them are just really different. We really didn't do Z like this at a camp, you know, but this is the real Z in Czech sign language. And as I said, you will be able to try this later. So, and when I spoke about the decision tree, there is which I don't know if it will work now with this light, because normally you see how it fluctuates between D and, okay, well, now I have F, that's new. But normally when I move like, I'm just gonna walk away from the camera and show you directly. Like when I try to show you D, it's like this, right? When I show you P, you know that it's P. Somewhere it will get a little bit ambiguous, you know, what's D and what's P, and this is actually what the program struggles with, but you can tune it in the decision tree easily, what you consider that should be working and whatnot. And because I said that it should be useful for interviews and video calls, I have another little demo for you. If it will ever run. I said that what you would expect probably if you don't implement some text-to-speech or something, you want that it shows subtitles at least, right? So this is with that few signs. I cannot make some sentences, but like if I make ahoy, let's like call me, and if I don't sign anything, you know, this is just for easy, like as a part of the demo to make it what it should be. The subtitles eventually disappear. If I would sign so much that it will be full, you know, then you will have the first ones going away. And that's what it should really do. It's not difficult. In OpenCV, you just set up your text output on the screen, and that's basically what was done. And hopefully there will be opportunity to work on this. I said that I don't take any rights for this, so I hope that some of you got motivated seeing this, that it's exciting for you, and that you will make it work better than me. I will be happy to. It's not common that someone tells you like, here's my project, I'll just take it and do whatever you want with it. I don't have it actually at GitHub, so you cannot take it, but you can mug me in the hole and take it from me. But yeah, I would be happy if someone finished it until the end and make it work. I will do my best to find some time to do that, but it's turned now more like to a hobby than something that I do at work. And that's all from me for now. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank you, and I really, truly think this is awesome that people can do things like this. Did you somehow train also for the all the words? So did you manage to train it for, I don't know, how many words did you train?
It was those, I mentioned that there is 17 signs, so what you saw with the subtitles was actually from those 17 signs,
Okay.
not including the rude ones that I had to remove, but as I said, there is some, like even a weird I just needed to do that for testing, like live long.
So did you somehow manually annotate it, or?
Yes, I had basically like a for loop in a program that was for grabbing images. I was in front of my camera, and I, for example, with thumbs up, just you are like this, and if it's, let's say that it takes screenshot or it grabs image from the OpenCV once per second, so you are just trying to do all kinds of position, and that's the way that I get the data set.
How long did it take you to train these 17 signs?
Oh, I don't know, but it felt like ages. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot, honestly.
Days, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
That's tedious. What is the current state of text-to-sign language programs? What would that mean? So are there any alternatives or whatever?
Let's say, I'm gonna sound a little bit like not modest at all, but everyone is kind of in the stage where I was 2 years ago. Actually, the day that I was doing presentation of this at our company, it was not TikTok, but Snapchat that introduced that you can do American alphabet in their app. They had basically implemented the same thing that I did, and they stopped there. I've seen recently that some students at a university in the US made gloves using Arduino modules to detect sign language. I don't know why gloves.
You don't need it, yeah.
Maybe it works better for them. Maybe they were like doing hardware engineering degree, and not computer vision, so it makes sense. There are like baby steps everywhere. I don't know about anyone, but with the progress of ChatGPT in the version of 5, you will probably just say like, translate this sign language for me, and it will do it for you, and then I will find out that I wasted all this time. But as I said, I would be happy to.
So you said you didn't put it on GitHub yet or anywhere?
No, not yet. And I always promise, but I will.
You don't have to clean it up front. You can clean it up afterwards. It's there. Yeah. Also, people can help you clean it up.
That's true.
So how long have you been working on it?
I remember it was 1 quarter, so three months, but not full time. We had like, if I remember well, 20% of our work time in that quarter to work on that, which is basically 1 day a week. And when you do something 1 day a week, you need to figure out what you did last week and not in those 4 other days and the weekends. So how much is it? One day per week in 3 months. That's 12 days, right? Yeah. Basically, something like that.
Okay. What sign language, word, or phrase is a must-know for every person, for your opinion? What is that, like help, please call police, or something like that?
Yeah, I somehow managed to still be a beginner in this, that I don't know.
Okay.
And it's funny because I mentioned it to our product manager that we hired after this prototype, and she actually speaks sign language. And when I mentioned it to her, she started signing to me, and I had no idea what she's saying. I have to apologize. But I had opportunity, actually, my colleague's wife works with the hearing-impaired people. She told me that she can help with that and create the data set, but we never got to that point. So it's just like I did the technological part, and then would be the tedious part of like
Doing the learning,
improving
yeah,
it and
labeling.
building up.
Yeah, but for that you can get people, and it's not like the programming job and the hard part. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the tedious one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you share a funny or surprising error that occurred during the model training process?
Not during the training, but I'm gonna tell you a funny story. When I actually had the demo of the prototype in our company, it was not just for my team. It was like, hey, everyone, we will show you our prototypes from our research and development team. Come and see it. You know, people could join online, and those who were on site, I invited them to come and try. And my colleague from my own team, who just has normal hands like everyone else, whatever he signed there, like he did hello, like this, it told him always bad. No, so I just told him that he's a very negative person, so whatever he does is just bad.
Are you going to implement only the Czech sign language or also other flavors, including international? It's not on you, yeah. Basically, it's on the people that will be labeling and annotating.
Yeah, like if I make it public, then of course everyone can use the technological part behind it, the coding part, and use it for whatever they want. It would even be easy to like make the training of the model implement there for someone who doesn't know it, because you just basically run it and it will choose for you the classifier and sets all the parameters that you need. And for me, I would never go beyond the scope of Czech Sign Language, because even that, as you see, was way beyond my level of what I can do, and I would need some serious help. It's not a one-man job to finish this.
Yeah. Later, I think there's a dictionary of signs in Czech Sign Language. Have you heard of it or used it? Not used, probably, obviously.
Yes, but I actually had some sources. There is some bachelor project and a master thesis. I think it's from Charles University, where they have. It's like someone did a really great job of writing a thesis that I would never write. It was probably, I can imagine it. The book looked like Game of Thrones published. You know. There were all kinds of signs explained. Of course, it had to be explained somehow on a printed paper. And there actually, what was useful when I did some training and stuff that I didn't mention here today, there are YouTube channels that they teach you sign language, and you can get it from there. They teach you like the basic phrases that someone asked about. So I can try to find the name, and if you come to me in the hall, I will suggest this YouTube channel for you if you are interested. But really, like, there is a lot of tutorials. I believe not just for Czech Sign Language, but for other languages as well.
Okay, I'll just skip some questions and eventually I'll ask. I want that one. Stay there. Do you know Teachable Machine? It's a very simple way to do something similar to this. Teachable Machine, okay, I never heard of it. We used it for students, kids, and they had lots of fun. We also did a sign alphabet. In case the person is in the room, he can talk later, but yeah. Is there the person? Anonymous? Okay. Nobody, okay, go on.
I don't know it, so I would like to find out more about it. And of course, there are some libraries that, you know, I discovered Mediapipe, I liked it. There might be something where they already, it's basically a 2-year-old project now where, as I said, I'm still trying to find some time to improve it. And even that Mediapipe evolved quite well, but I said Google has there now the recognition of some signs. There is just few of them, so there is always new things to discover.
Yeah, this Teachable Machine is like, so basically it's, you will eventually see, it's very similar to what you did, yeah, actually. Smart gloves, we were talking about that, yeah, so why? Have you considered to use more smart gloves instead of processing video.
Maybe there is some way how to tell it where one sign ends, or maybe having more input, because they, I guess the Arduino and stuff that you can connect to it are not just for knowing the position of the hand and where it is, but it can also give you like access to gyroscope and accelerometer, right? So so it makes it easier, because like when I will be moving, I don't know, hands like this in some sign, or as I said, like this, it will know the position of the gloves. It makes sense, so it's possible to do it differently.
Okay. How long is the code?
About this long. Depends what you mean, the code I had there. Well, my numbering never makes sense, because I have like script 1, script 2, script 3, then I have 4 of script 4 or something like that. I said that one part was just basically obtaining the data set from myself quickly. So that's a short code on itself. Then there were some converting those images into those coordinates, as I said. It's surprisingly simple, because the hard work is done by Mediapipe, because that would there is basically some neural network trained behind that. So if I had to do this on my own, it would be much more complicated. But this is really simple.
Okay. 2 questions. Have you tried with non-static camera? We saw non-static, like it's on a laptop, yeah?
Yeah.
But basically, many hearing-impaired people are using FaceTime, and thus the lighting and the camera stability are not ideal.
Yeah, but what you've seen here was actually probably issue with my simple classifier model. It's not that much issue with that Mediapipe detecting what's happening in the screen. So I would say that
That's not an issue,
it can work better, and to make it work with like FaceTime, that someone holds the phone.
Okay, and one
would be
last,
possible.
but yeah, that is, as you said, you are not really into the sign language.
Yeah, but
so.
I hope that you appreciate the live long.
Yeah, live long and prosper, yeah.
Sorry, that's all I got.
Thank you very much. Please.